Back, Prashant here from Make Marketer, and in this Facebook tutorial series, we were discussing about the mindset that people have when they get into Facebook and the mindset a marketer should have before he starts creating Facebook ads. And we have discussed about Facebook Pixel in detail, the JavaScript code, and we kind of dissected the entire Facebook Pixel. We understood what is script and what is no script, and how do you fire this no script using Google Tag Manager, and that will only fire on browsers who have JavaScript disabled, right? And we discussed about brand awareness campaign and the reach campaign and the difference and the subtle difference between both of them. We discussed about many other things, and so far I've covered close to 8 videos. So if you want to become a master at Facebook ads, you can just go watch those other 8 videos, and this is going to be a continuation, right? So in this video, we will talk about the metrics that you have to measure or keep a track of when you've created your first Facebook campaign, right? So if you've created your Facebook campaign, great, right? Now, after you create your Facebook campaign, there's certain things that you must do to keep a track of, to know if your campaigns are successful or if they're driving the results that you were expecting when you created them, right? So I have this screen. So if you can look at my screen, you understand. Right, so I've created one campaign and we've spent close to 1,500 rupees and another 3,500 rupees. So on the whole, we've run one campaign for a period of like 1 month, and we've spent close to 5,000 rupees. And you see, we've got close to 70 leads from first campaign and 198 leads from second campaign. And you see the leads here, 17.76 is the cost per result, and the first campaign's cost per result was 22, which is very, very decent, because considering the conversion value that we have from each conversion, it is very, very high. So on the whole, you see 19.9 rupees were spent on acquiring each lead. That means my cost per result from Facebook ads on an average was 20 rupees, which is very decent. So if you've created Facebook campaigns, a lot of people finally come down to a point, they want to know what are those 5 important metrics that I should keep a track of. So I wanted to specifically emphasize on this. So right, so the 5 important metrics is, according to me, the first one would be, I would say, you keep a track of cost per click, and second is cost per result. If you're running lead campaigns, is important because you don't want your cost per result to be too high that you reach a point that you're not getting any revenues from it or not profits, right? For example, if I am running one campaign and I'm spending like 200 to 500 per lead, then the eventual return that I would get for each lead would be very, very less. So you don't want your lead campaigns to spend so much for each lead. So cost per lead is something that you have to really focus on. And third one I would focus on is conversion rate. And fourth one I would focus on is frequency. I want to know how many times my ads were served to one person on an average, because if you look at the survey, you can't just run your ads to one person for 1 time or 2 times and expect them to click on your ad and then convert. No, it survey says your ad should be served to one person more than 6-7 times until he reaches to a point that he starts noticing your ads. Now, if you want your ads to be served to people that people will take an action, then you have to keep this frequency a little up. But again, that purely depends on business to business and the kind of strategy that you have even before you run your campaigns, right? And the fifth one would be cost per click. I said cost per result, and then conversion rate. Okay, you can even keep a track of CTR, which is click-through rate, right? So if you're into different businesses, maybe you can keep other metrics also. But I would say first identify the most important metrics that you should really be careful at. See, Facebook gives you a lot of metrics, but not every metric that you find in Facebook ads is important. Just because Facebook is giving you metric, it doesn't mean they'll really help you, right? So you'd have to identify those important metrics which are going to improve your campaign performance, or by looking at those metrics you can even optimize your campaigns. The first one that I would talk about is cost per click. Cost per click is nothing but the amount that you paid per each click on your ad. Now, you always want CPC to be low, right? So if your CPC is high, then maybe you can really try and change your targeting methods, right, to try and make sure that your CPC is always less. But if you're into automated bidding, what will happen is system will bid. So generally what I recommend is, when you're running your campaigns for the first time, you keep a track, or you go into manual bidding and you understand, right, how much to bid or how much your click is worth to you. So I would appreciate if you can go with manual bidding initially, right? Cost per result is just I've showed you. I was spending 20 rupees per each result, which is very, very decent, and we've generated close to 200 results. And imagine if 200 results, out of which two customers or two proper conversions that my sales team does, and those two people eventually pay me my product fee or my training fee, that would be too high, right? So that is too decent, right? I'm assuming 1% conversion rate. 1%, that means out of every 100 leads, if I only convert 1% also, I'm spending close to 2000 rupees. So because 100 into 20 is 2000, right? So 2000 rupees to get one proper customer is very, very decent considering the conversion value that we have, right? And conversion rate is nothing but how many people eventually come to your site, and out of that how many people convert, right? So imagine if I get 100 clicks, out of which even if I convert one person, right, I think it's decent for my business. I think it's decent, right? But 1% conversion rate, depends on different businesses. If you're running a business which is kind of into emergency, you'll have high conversion rates as well. But if you're into e-commerce, generally most of the e-commerce sites have conversion rates up to from 2 to 4%. It is quite rare that you see conversion rates go up to 10% and beyond for e-commerce site. And because we extensively work on e-commerce campaigns, what we do is we only find conversion rates from 1 to 4%, and 4% is very, very decent, right? Again, it purely depends on business to business. You should keep a real track of it, right? And then frequency, how many times your ads were served to one person, and click-through rate, how many times people saw the ads. That means clicks to impressions. So I would say, if you're a Facebook marketer, you've created a successful Facebook campaign, you first keep a track of these 5 metrics, and then you can keep adding other metrics which you think are important for your business. Because I don't know what kind of business you're into and what services you're offering and what return on investment that you have, or how competitive is your business, right? How much is your conversion value? Because I don't know all these things. I would say you keep a track of these 5 important metrics before you start your Facebook campaigns, or even after you're running your Facebook campaigns, you can just go through and find these metrics, right? And one thing that I would really emphasize on is, you don't generally check the Facebook metrics just after one day of Facebook campaign. You give it at least like 7 to 10 days of time, because you want Facebook to have enough data, or your campaigns or ads should have enough data, so that you can go back and see those data or metrics and then evaluate whether they are running well, or whatever you have in the first place, are they successful, they're not successful, or they're going high, they're going low, they're not performing the way you wanted them to perform, or they're performing extremely well, better than what you expected them to do, right? So at least I would say wait for a week or 10 days before you start analyzing it, because if you start analyzing the Facebook campaign just after 1 day or 2 days, you do more harm to your campaigns than good. So be careful, you give it enough time so that your campaigns will get those important clicks and impressions, and Facebook will also have enough time to kind of deliver your ads to right people, considering the events that you want Facebook ads to be optimized for, right? So first one is cost per click. You always try to keep it low. If you don't know how to bid, right, at least give it certain time. Be into automatic bidding, give it certain time, like 7 days, 10 days, and then you'll have an eventual number. And cost per result also, if you have no idea, give it little time, 7-10 days, and then see how they're performing, right? Initially when I was running my campaign, I had no idea that I would be like 20, 25 or 15. So what I did initially, I was just running a lead campaign, and I put my budget. It was not a conversion campaign, it was just a lead campaign, and we were running ads to target audience. And eventually after 1 week, we saw that our lead cost was like 15 rupees, 20 rupees, and then we changed a little bit of ad sets. We try and made other optimization, which I'm going to share in my next video. So guys, so go watch out for these 5 metrics, but remember, you give it like 5 to 10 days of time even before you check these metrics. And next videos are going to be on optimizations. What are you going to do if you're not getting impressions? What are you going to do if you're getting impressions but not getting clicks? And what troubleshooting are you going to do if you're getting clicks but not getting conversions, right? So these are issues that every marketer will face. If you're a Facebook marketer, I hope you understand these problems. Nobody is immune to these problems. Everybody who's running Facebook campaigns will get to these stages where we have to optimize. So my next videos are going to be on how to troubleshoot your Facebook campaign so that you can yield more results, drive more conversions, and drive more revenue. So watch out for my next videos. I will see you with the next video. Thank you so much.